Yep.
I'm feeling a bit delirious, guys, because I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. So be
Why? What were you doing?
Be gentle. I was just awake. I was thinking.
What were you thinking about?
Life, general things. You know what it's like, goes round and round in your head.
Were you trying to name cricketers?
That's a great podcast.
Were you just excited to see us so you couldn't sleep?
It's actually true. Should we get on with this podcast so I can catch up with you?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Welcome to the world's #1 podcast, Soccer A to Z, the people's podcast saving football 1 week at a time whilst helping society. We are working our way through the alphabet from A to Z. The letter is O for, oh God, why is this podcast so blooming good? Happy New Year, gang. 2024 saw us coming back together again. I liked it. It was very good. I enjoyed your company last year. Did you all have a good 2024?
Yes, on the whole, yeah, I would say so.
Mm-hmm.
No.
It's all right.
No? Helen, no?
Oh, no, my dog died.
Oh.
Oh, what? Kept that quiet.
Yeah, Spud. He died in May last year. He was 17, but...
So my cat died.
Well,
she was 17.
My dog died in February. Good year, 2024, isn't it?
Yeah.
If I was going to review 2024, I'd give humanity 3 out of 10.
Okay.
A lot of wars.
Yep.
Not a lot of peace. A lot of messing around. I'd give football 6 out of 10 because
that's low.
Yeah, they're very poor values in football at the moment. Low moral compass, winning over morality constantly, reflecting society as we see it. And I just don't like that. But there were some great games, some great goals, and Cole Palmer arrived.
What was that, Robbie? What was that? About a minute 30?
Only 2 minutes.
He's running down the left. He's running down the right. He's running down the left. He's running down the right. Cole Palmer is dynamite.
It's early. I wasn't.
It's cold.
What's happening?
It's early, but I wasn't. I wasn't expecting to do this early, but we might as well get on with it because he's the main man in football. I feel it's getting colder in here. Can you feel the temperature drop? Can you feel that? That can mean only one thing, Robbie. Cole Palmer's here. Cole is so cold. He's turned into Cold Palmer once more. Cole Palmer needs to grab a scarf.
Get on with it.
But who?
So sorry, what? So this? Can I just get the law correct here? This is Cole Palmer. It's not a guy called Cold Palmer.
This is Cold Palmer. He's cold, Robbie. His scarf. He's picked up a scarf to make himself a bit warmer. It's red and white.
Stoke.
No.
Aberdeen.
No one can think of any red and white teams.
Southampton.
The badge has a hand on it. The badge has a hand on it.
Charlton.
The hand is holding a sword. A sword.
Yeah.
There's a nickname on the scarf which says the Valiants.
Yeah. Okay.
Who on earth could it be? It was, in fact,
First.
it was Charlton. Yeah.
Jacko off brushstrokes.
Who were also called the Addicts.
Yeah.
Because South London Addicts and Chips became the Addict and Chips because they used to eat it before matches, apparently, in East Street, a fishmonger from East Street. There you go. So there, yes, it was.
Tenuous, isn't it?
Yeah,
That was great.
Loudest gig
Did
ever
you know-
recorded was at the Valley.
Was it? Who was it?
The Who.
Oh, how do you know that?
Don't know, it's just one of those facts, and it rattles around in your noggin.
Okay. When Madness got back together again and did Madstock on the first One Step Beyond, when all the audience jumped, I was there, and we jumped down, it apparently registered as an earthquake.
On the Richard scale.
On the Richard scale, yeah. On the Richard scale.
Tim, did you see the Cole Palmer celebration at the darts?
No, who did they? Did
Oh, it was amazing.
Cole Palmer's probably suing him
one
for
of the
that
darts
as we
players
speak.
did it.
Yeah,
Amazing.
so for the first time ever, the Bahamas was represented at the darts. Sweeting. It was absolutely brilliant. And somebody randomly messaged him and said, "Oh, if you get a 180, can you do this Cole Palmer?" And he did it. He didn't really even know what he was doing, but the crowd went mad. Yeah, Rashad Sweetin, who came over from the Bahamas.
I love Cole Palmer, but I think he's wrong to copyright that.
Has he copyrighted it?
He's trying to. He either has or has.
Would you
I think
remember
it should
Gareth
be.
Bale?
It says it's Rogers from Villa says it's his celebration. He started it first.
But I think no one should own that. I think it's.
Gareth
should be
Bale tried to copyright that, didn't he?
What, a heart?
What, the heart?
Yeah.
Joe's doing for the people listening. Joe's doing a heart with his fingers, like they do, like Love Island people do.
And I think he got told to shove it, didn't he? Because you can't
copyright heart.
Can't copyright love.
No.
You can't.
Talking about the darts, did you see, and celebrations, did you see Luke Littler did the Drogba?
Did he?
Yeah, Luke Littler did the Drogba walking off. It's brilliant.
Did he?
Yeah.
There was also
Kevin Nolan that.
Nah, that's
Kevin
Didier
Nolan.
Drogba.
there was also a great sign which said "woke nonsense." Which
Yes.
was,
Yeah.
that was very good. Thank you for doing that. We should catch up because we've not seen each other for a couple of weeks. My friend Mark, before we get to Helen's farm, said now that Helen and myself have been overlooked for match of the day, we could do dispatch of the day instead. And we could do instead of goal of the month, we could do cull of the month competition.
Yeah.
Andy Miller has written in and says, "Hi, I'm contacting you to make your listeners aware of experience I had this week in the hope that your other followers do not fall foul of the same scam. I made myself a hot chocolate. I grabbed a handful of biscuits to settle in and watch a TV program called Dispatches, expecting an hour's entertainment, watching feathers fly as Helen rolled up her sleeves and reduced the number of inmates in her animal prison, only to find it was all about current affairs and other woke nonsense. I've been sold a lie, others beware."
That is brilliant. From the viewer.
There you go. And Graham Green says, if Helen is looking for wallabies, Lambay Island off the coast of Dublin is the only place in the Northern Hemisphere that they live. What, did you say you wanted a wallaby? Did we have that?
I'd like a wallaby.
Did you say that on the show?
Yeah.
Owen Taylor has said, loving the podcast, but is it Mooney, Moony, Mooney, Mooney, or Mooney, Moonie?
Big question, that.
Yeah.
I think it's EY.
Tackling the big topics, aren't we?
What do we think?
EY.
Mooney.
Well, Tommy Mooney,
Like Tommy Mooney is
surname,
EY.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't the Moonies are a cult?
Yeah.
That's IE, so I'd go MOONY.
We really need Neil on this, don't we? Neil would know the
Square.
answers.
Do you remember when I wrote to the dictionary to annoy Neil? Neil, we were having an argument about whether or not there was like 1990s, whether there's an apostrophe, and I was saying there shouldn't be an apostrophe, and he was going, yes, there should be, and all this. And I found something on the internet, and he didn't, and he said, I'm not just trusting something on the internet, I'd only trust the dictionary. So I wrote to the Oxford English Dictionary, and they sent me a letter back saying, with loads of printouts of text,
brilliant,
and saying, I hope this will be sufficient evidence to prove your friend wrong. And he hated it.
That's sussed. And then Steve Green says, after Tube's name dropped Robbie Williams, who's got the biggest celebrity friend? He wasn't name dropping Robbie Williams. Anyone got anyone famous in their phone book before we get to Helen's farm?
Same one with
do you
all
know what? I think it might be Robbie and Tubes for me these days because they're internet famous, aren't they? And that's kind of bigger, isn't it?
Well,
like they used to be stars, and then but there's people like you now. You
Max Fosh, Max Fosh, he's quite famous now.
Max Fosh, yeah.
They're a bit like you're a bit like porn stars, aren't you?
What?
Bit?
Explain.
Let's move on. Helen, how is the farm? How is the farm, Helen?
Yeah, it's a bit flooded at the moment. It's horrible. We had so much rain on Saturday night that it's now officially waterlogged, which is just horrible.
Are they all in wellies?
Warthogs.
Yeah, warthogs on the pitch everywhere. Yeah, so it's just horrible. It's just hard to deal with. But the bloody turkeys, the turkey hen is annoying me. She's roosting on top of the pen at night. Everything goes to bed, she goes up on the top. And I have to poke her with a stick to get her off because otherwise the fox will climb up there and eat her.
But they're taking the mick, aren't they, the turkeys? They're like, they're on shore leave to survive Christmas. You can get away with anything.
Jubilant scenes.
Yeah. It's just such a pain in the ass because it's about 20 foot up and I had to find a stick big enough to poke through the holes to poke her off the roof.
Is it flicking you the V's?
Yeah.
Oh no, she keeps crapping through because they. Yeah.
Dispatch,
No,
Helen. Dispatch.
I can't. No, she's lovely. I can't. I know.
Take action.
Someone asked me the other day, Helen, when you buy a rhea, which is like a small emu, is it? Small ostrich. Which one?
Well, it's a ratite, Tim.
It's a rat.
It's a ratite.
When you buy those, does it?
Ratite.
Do they come in egg form, or do you get them as a baby, or do they come as a fully fledged bird?
If they come in egg, if I buy an egg, what do you think I do with it? Do you think I
Hibernate
just
it.
Water it.
Bury it under a tree.
How do they come?
I bought youngsters.
Oh,
and,
how old?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, they have to be a couple of months old because
Otherwise, it's weird.
to move them because chicks have to stay under a heat lamp because they can't regulate their own temperature. So once they're off the heat, then you can transport them and move them about and sell them. And
so you could potentially buy eggs, couldn't you? Really?
Yeah.
You can buy them, but you have to to incubate them properly, and then after that you have to have the proper. You have to have a setup with a heat lamp and keep them safe from predators and etc. etc.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great news from the farm there. Tube, should we do our news quickly before we go on to anything else? We decided to have a little game of golf, didn't we?
We did.
A game of golf.
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was great. There was Tubes, myself, our friend Michael, Lloydie, and Joe. And at the beginning of the game, we asked...
God, I need to get down the Apple store. My phone's not been getting messages.
You weren't invited.
Yeah. All right, cool. That's cleared up.
And before the game, as every golfer knows, you try and work out a handicap system. And I'm not great. I'll just go whatever, 20, 18, whatever. I can't remember what I was put down. They asked Joe. And Joe said, well, I've not played for 2 years. So he went in a handicap of 28. I've never played with anyone who had a handicap of 28 before. Bearing in mind, I've played with Joe before, and he's decent.
I was so impressed that you 28.
He played so much better than me. He played better than you and Lloydie on a lot of the holes. Unbelievable. So sometimes I would get I think one hole I might have even got a par or a bogey. And I had to give Joe a shot, and he's better than me. I have you been able to sleep since then?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
How could you take that handicap?
Because the thing is, you never know what's gonna get served up on any given day. You might be all right. Well,
that's not how it works.
It is for me.
It was impressive.
Well, Tubes has come up with the idea that we're going to do
what you can get.
We've got to do the Soccer A to Z major.
All right.
18 holes.
Am I on 28 again?
Absolutely. No.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah.
We're going to get Helen down there, the metal detector. Robbie.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in now.
Robbie's.
Right. See if I'm free.
Yeah. But we're going to do a big Soccer A to Z major.
Yeah, and we
can't wait.
And we're looking because we're going to do stuff on Golf Life, Tubes' channel.
Yeah,
we'll do stuff on Robbie's YouTube channel as well.
All right.
So if you've got any challenges for Robbie or anything, we do that. Any challenges for us for the podcast as well. So if you've got any ideas, what else we can do? Helen's coming down too, as we know, with doing some. What's she going to do? Metal detecting or do whatever she fancies. Actually, you could play a bit of golf. You told us once you were brilliant at golf.
Bring the turkeys.
Oh no, I've only ever played once, but I was like Happy Gilmore.
She was brilliant. So we'll see whether she's still brilliant.
I wouldn't say brilliant, but
that's what I said.
So let's know. And my other news is I took Jamie, my youngest daughter, to her first ever football match.
Yes.
Took her to the Bridge, home of football, sadly she went, "This is brilliant. Can we come again?" So I might have to buy season tickets again. She absolutely loved it.
That's amazing, though. Why is it sadly?
Pardon?
You don't like going to the matches, do you?
Well, do you know, I do, but I'm also sitting there going, I want to see the replay. You know, I do really like what they do on telly. I like the build-up with all the pundits chatting. I like the halftime rubbish, and I like the post-match. And I just think at some stage they've got to kind of work out how we can watch replays on the monitors now. I know I'm sounding like, new age fan or something, but I just really miss seeing the replays of everything. You know what I mean? So
do you quite like going home afterwards and then looking up
what happened?
Yeah, and going, I want to see that again. Oh, okay. Quite like that bit.
But anyway, she's into it. So she's really into it. So, yeah, it was good news. Nice. Right, what have you been up to, Tubes?
Obviously Christmas. Baby's coming soon. And I'm going to Dubai tomorrow for some more Golf Life action.
Watch the Flintstones. Absolutely.
And Abu Dhabi.
Whenever you're there. Go watch
So that's about it, really. It's just busy Christmas and preparing to be a father. So yeah.
And how's that going? It's exciting, isn't it, when you're about to become a dad?
It's nerve-wracking for me. It's exciting. I just want to be good at it. I want to go in all guns blazing.
How are you going to judge success if you're good at it? What are your KPIs? Like?
Amy doesn't cry.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so if she doesn't cry, I'm doing a good job.
Okay.
What about the baby?
Yeah.
Baby. I've heard all sorts. The baby's going to cry for an hour non-stop sometimes.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be hands on? I love doing the nappies. I love that bit.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's just that moment you're with your kid and you can just, I don't know. It's a real.
It's not something I'm really massively looking forward to. I've got to be honest.
Absolutely fine when it's your own kids.
Really?
Changing another kid's nappy.
I'm not very good with smells though.
Nah, you get used to it.
You
really?
do get used to it. Yeah.
It eases you in because when they're just having milk, it doesn't really smell, and then they start eating solid food, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
I've heard the first poo is rank.
Green.
Meconium, is that the word?
Something like it's all like.
Wait till the cord falls off, the umbilical cord. It's like a big twiglet thing.
But like Amy keeps saying to me, "How are you going to be like during me giving birth?" And I'm like, "Yeah, cool."
I'll be playing golf, mate. Don't I?
I'll be all right. Yeah,
doesn't affect me.
I'll be doing the Socrates Z major. But yeah, she's like, "I'm pre-warning you. You could faint." So
I didn't. I've been through 3 kids.
Yeah.
I still get told off.
Why?
Because I just sat there eating a packet of Tuck biscuits. But what can you do? Yeah, you just sit there with your Tuck biscuits. What am I meant to do? I still get a grief.
What was she angry about? The choice of biscuit?
No, not really.
She wanted ginger nut.
At least had ginger nut. Yeah. I think we've sorted out parenting. So
there we go. Completed it.
Robbie, what have you been up to?
Missed the last show last year, didn't I? Because I went skiing, and I'm going skiing this weekend as well.
Oh, look at you!
So, and then I'm going to New York after that. So a lot of travelling.
Are you going to do any of the podcasts this year?
I'll do some.
Right.
I'm not going to go over the top.
No, don't.
But I'll dabble. Yeah.
Okay.
So no, I've just been having Christmas. And all that, like everyone else, not done much.
Are those trips influencing? Oh, yes.
We did. Yeah, I saw Darren Huckabee on Christmas as a tradition on Christmas Day, but I also went to his party, his house party.
Is he ripped? Is he still ripped?
He's still ripped, yeah.
Why don't you get down the gym with him and sort yourself out?
What do you mean sort myself out? He asked me to go running. He asked me to go running all the time. And also his gym's too expensive. Now,
do you not think that would be a good video?
What?
Yeah,
Darren Huckabee putting you through your paces.
I get ripped. 6 months to get ripped with Darren Huckabee. Talk to the gym and get a freebie.
I'm going to do that.
Influence.
Come on, do it. Influence. Yeah, get influencing.
I'm all right. Don't you worry. He always says to me, because I'm training for Barcelona Marathon at the minute, and he says, why don't we go for a run together again? Because that will be the worst experience of both of our lives.
Yeah.
Because, he goes, slow runs are all right, though. I don't mind doing slow runs. But your slow run is me sprinting full out.
I don't care how fast Darren Huckabee can run. I witnessed it when playing football. It's very good. But I'm impressed by his bod. He's absolutely ripped. You should do that. Can you imagine? You come in and you're like, whoa.
Can I get like Darren Huckabee in 4 months? Or
yes,
like
that's a great video.
Why don't you all go to the gym with Darren Huckabee? Because
you live next to him.
Norwich.
You live next to him. He's your best friend.
Norwich.
He's your best friend.
Go with Wayne Bridge.
He'll be sitting there eating.
I do go with Wayne Bridge. He's an animal.
Well, why aren't you ripped then?
Huh?
Yeah, why aren't you?
I'm all right.
Yeah, he is actually doing a lot of running at the moment.
Thanks.
What, and I'm not?
No, you are. But I want to see you get ripped.
Well, I'm working on it, all right? So I don't need Darren Huckabee to get me ripped.
You do need
Darren Huckabee. It's a great video.
Who knows what lies under that sweatshirt?
Well.
Robbie?
Yes, Helen?
Did you say you saw him Christmas Day?
Yeah, last 3 years now I've seen him on Christmas Day. The Knox family tradition. We share a local pub and we go there at Christmas Day and see him there. So, yeah.
Okay.
Who's he support?
He likes Norwich and Coventry. He played for them. I don't know who he grew up supporting. He's from Nottingham originally, I think, so I'm not sure. I don't know who he supported as a child.
Joe, what have you been up to?
Got Christmas out of the way. And
You had task, didn't you?
Bloody nuts. It's annoying, isn't it? All that fun.
finally defeated a 1,000-piece jigsaw with Bill.
Yeah.
Oh, what of?
The London Tube map. The
Nice.
ultimate test of man versus cardboard.
What is the tube station that you...
How long did it take?
It took us about a week. We weren't going at it hammer and tongs, and there were two of us. There was only one jigsaw.
They do competitive
So it
jigsaws
was a-
now. Have you seen that? They all line up in a room and they get given a jigsaw. They've all got their box shaken, then they empty it and then they have to go. And
Yeah,
Sounds like a right laugh.
It's
that.
great. It's addictive.
Yeah,
the jigsaw.
I jigsaw. I've got one of
Brilliant.
the boards now.
Yeah,
you got
I
a
have.
board to store it on.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's meant. It's like
you'll have to tubes. You'll have to get into children's toys. Jigsaw's good. I absolutely hated Lego. Anybody else?
I hate Lego.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
Lego.
Do you? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Like a bit of Lego.
What other games do the kids like?
Twister.
They don't play that. No one.
Fortnite.
But no, it's
Yeah, I'm going
computer.
to keep them. I'm going to
Yeah,
keep my
so they do.
daughter off. computer
Rocket
games.
League.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
it's Rocket League.
Oh, it's some video game.
Right, they're playing that, the boys.
They used to. I don't know.
Yeah.
FIFA. Get some angry FIFA. Get some really angry.
It's Sabutio still. a thing.
Salty.
Nah.
No one's played Sabutio since 19.
It's not 1981,
It's a
mate.
great game.
It's not.
There used to be whole
Terrible
racks
games
of
of you.
Sabutio,
Sabutio's
like
not
every
that-
team.
Helen, it's not a terrible game. Sabutio was amazing.
Bad.
It is
I
bad.
used to like
Flicking-
Sabutio.
It is bad.
So bad.
It's not bad.
It's bad.
So bad.
It just,
When you
it
couldn't
was
have-
just, it's like in your mind you think it's good, but that
It is
advert,
good.
Yeah.
the
What
advert
a
never
setting.
reflected
You can buy
the
the stands. At, like,
Oh,
it's a
yeah,
big
it's just
spectacle.
Sabutio.
Yeah,
rubbish.
exactly.
Absolute
Yeah.
nonsense. Should we do some? What letter is it this week?
O.
O's.
O.
Who's the winner from last
Oh,
time?
that'd be
I think it's tubes.
That'll be
What
me.
with what?
N for nicknames.
Infinite.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It's Leroy Sané.
Bacon.
Yeah.
Before you do that, I'm going to trail ahead for Friday's show.
Okay.
Okay.
We have questions and a quiz. Some of the questions coming in. Tim, you and the boys with Helen all had a big part in getting the star put on the England shirt. What's your feelings about the FA making the star the same colour as the shirts? We will answer that on Friday. Joe says, what's the best goal you've ever seen when you've actually been at a game? I know the answer to that.
Me too.
And Smudgy says, favourite away ground and game that you've watched? Favourite... I don't know about that one. We'll answer those on Friday. We'll try and answer those. So who's going to do the first O? Tubes, you're up.
Okay, I'm going to go O for own goals.
Oh.
There's a couple of things here. Richard Dunn holds the record for the most own goals ever in the Premier League.
How many?
10.
10.
10 own goals. Yeah. Followed up by Jamie Carragher, Martin Skirtle and Phil Jagielka on 7 own goals. Carragher scored 3 own goals against Tottenham.
Oh.
But there's not, for me, you don't see unbelievable own goals anymore.
What, like a 30-yard?
Yeah.
Ew,
Did
that's
you-
so true.
Do you know what I mean? Well, what's happened to those?
Nearly had one
It
at
was-
Norwich the other week. Someone
Really?
from about 30, 40 yards. Keeper just got back in time. Almost
really?
one of those, yeah.
Like, sorry, Tubes, if you're about to do this, but Ian Dowies, do you remember Ian Dowies?
Yeah.
It came lofting in.
Yeah.
West Ham, wasn't it?
West Ham from a corner.
Yeah.
And it was a proper
Yeah.
Head,
up like a salmon,
Yeah.
a proper
Yeah.
beautiful header.
bullet header.
The best-
Yeah, you're right. You didn't. Sorry, Tubes, if I've taken.
No, absolutely. This is why I bring these things to the equation. I want everyone to discuss.
Wasn't the best one ever
Oh.
Jamie Pollock?
No, the
Oh,
best
yeah.
one
Jamie
ever.
Pollock.
No
Chris
way.
Brass.
Chris
Question
Brass.
never. Yeah.
Chris Brass.
Didn't Jamie Pollock knock it over?
Uh,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
Luke
I've
Nedder.
I've never scored a goal as good as Jamie Pollock's own goal.
Remember Chris Brass broke
Chris
his
Brass
nose
is the.
Which one's that?
when he kicked it in his own
kicked it
face.
against
Oh,
his-
yeah.
Anyway,
He actually broke his nose.
But Jamie Pollock's was pure skill, though, wasn't it?
Jamie Pollock's was a
You never
beautiful
scored
goal.
an own goal. You never
No.
played in defence, though, did
No,
you?
I
I've never
haven't.
scored an own goal, I don't think. Not that I remember. Anyone
who's
scored
the
an own goal?
oval guy?
Not that I
Who's the
can remember.
oval guy that belted it into the net in the cup? He was on the line. He went to clear it,
Hoofed it. Yeah, I vaguely remember
and he
that. Yeah.
absolutely belted it into his own net. Ooh, that's going to annoy me.
Remember a few years ago, England's women, the Lionesses, were playing in the World Cup semi, I think it was.
Yeah.
And this poor girl, Laura Bassett, scored like a really unfortunate own goal from the edge of the box. Off like proper like top corner postage stamp. It's like you couldn't do that again if you tried. In the World Cup semi-final, we lost.
No.
But do you reckon we don't get great own goals anymore because of obviously the pass back rule? Because Jamie Pollock, he was trying to pass back to the keeper, wasn't he?
I don't know.
But it was a header. So the keeper
Yeah,
could
but
have
he's lobbed it over the first, and then he's gone to. I suppose you can still head back to the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Why? Well, what's happened to great own goals? I think we should
They're still
encourage.
out there. I think they're still out there.
When's the last greatest one you've seen? When's the last Pollock or Bra?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's
We're not creating the great.
Yeah.
That's a good that. It's made us all think, I don't know, and we're visualising funny own goals. Do you want to go next, Helen? Why not? Let's go around the room.
My O is a Soccer AM based one, and it is Oi, Fishhead.
Oi.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Every week on a football show, Timothy Lovejoy would emerge from the lockers area wearing a hat
West
that
Brom.
was a fish.
West Brom.
Was it? See,
It was
I
blue and white.
questioned.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
blue and white.
No, it was Grimsby. What am I talking about?
It was navy.
Grimsby.
It was navy and white.
It was Grimsby.
Yeah, okay.
Black and white, wasn't it?
And
No, I'm sure it was navy.
Well, why did it have a fish on it then?
Yeah, it was.
I don't know.
It must have been Grimsby.
I don't
Go on,
know.
sorry.
It was
Anyway.
blue and white, but you're right. Grimsby black and white. So yeah, Tim would walk out from the lockers wearing this hat. The entire crew and studio audience and fans would shout, "Oi, Fishhead!" And Tim would look round, and it'd be like that GIF of John Travolta, looking for something, and go, "Who are you talking to?" And that was it.
That
Yeah.
was,
That was
that was
it.
comedy gold.
Yeah. We did that every week for 15
Every week.
I
years.
never got it.
You
I was
never got it?
Yeah, why
Yeah.
did
I
you
think it's
do
before
that?
my time. I think
You must remember Oi Fishhead. You were
I
definitely
remember
there.
it because I watched the show, but I don't think I was there for it.
I'm trying to remember, and I think what happened was I found it in the props cupboard. I think it's got to be a football hat, and so it's got to be Grimsby. Who else is going to have a fish on it? There was a weird time, wasn't there, where people were having, like, hammers were taking inflatable hammers, and people were taking fish to games, weren't they? Who was taking the fish? Grimsby, I suppose.
Yeah.
What did
Yeah,
Norwich
probably.
have? People had all sorts of different.
Canary.
Chelsea took
canaries,
celery,
that's
didn't
right.
they?
Yeah, blow up
Yeah.
celery
City had
and all that stuff.
bananas.
Yeah, did you remember that?
Ray
Everyone was-
banana. Yeah.
It was from Man City, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
how it all started. Then everyone's taking their own version of it. But I think people were making weird merchandise, and I think it had to be Grimsby. But
They
I
made
think
a brief
it's West Brom.
revival inflatables a few years ago,
Did
didn't
they?
Yeah.
But I remember, I think I saw it in, because you remember we used to have the cages with the props in, which were like basically wheeled big cage things, which you wheeled in. And I think I found it in there. And when I was just coming out of the lockers one day, I just put the hat on. And if I remember correctly, it wasn't written, but it could have been. But it's Aldo. Do you remember Mark Aldridge?
Yeah.
And he's
Yep.
responsible for a lot of very good material on our show years ago. He's one of those unsung heroes. And I remember him shouting, "Oi, Fishhead," really loud at me. And then I did the "Who's that?" But he was also responsible for World Cup War, wasn't he, really?
I used to love that when I watched that.
Do you
What
think,
a
Helen,
uni.
he was responsible for World
Oh.
Cup War?
That is an incredibly flash footix.
But what is it?
Yeah.
That looks like a...
He used to shout it so loud and so long that he used to genuinely nearly faint when he would go, "That is an amazing piece of merchandise," and another whole load of sentences related to that. "But what is it?" And it would go on so long, you would see the colour drain from his face, and he'd be staggering about. He would nearly faint for his talent, for his art, for his contribution to the show.
And Helen, it reminded me that right at the beginning we decided to do a quiz, I think, and it was called ABC, and I think it was multiple choice, I guess. And we had Michael Jackson ABC, and all the guys wore like afro wigs, and
Gold jacket.
and he was the funniest. There was him and Dan.
Because he couldn't
And-
keep in time with the music.
And I can't remember who else. Was any of you lot part of the ABC?
I don't remember
Was it before your time, all of you?
Yeah.
And I remember people writing in going, "We think the letter C," which was Aldo, is the funniest, because he used to really... Aldo was full commitment, wasn't he? Absolutely full commitment. He was, as we went along the show, there was all these guys and they committed to the show, and it kind of made it, didn't he? He's one of them. I still keep in contact with him. He's more successful than all of us.
His Terminator was absolutely brilliant.
Terminator.
Yeah, it's
Tell us
great
about that.
Terminator.
When he'd come out, he'd be dressed as the Terminator in the leather jacket and the shades, and he'd just go around the entire studio up to the fans of the week and point at them and doing all that, and just point at someone and go, Sarah Connor, and then your clothes, give them to me. And all this. And he'd go around the whole studio for about 5 minutes with everyone laughing their heads off. And then he'd go behind the sofa and go and like shut down. And everyone would stop laughing and carry on with. And then about 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, he suddenly just goes up from like the back of the sofa again and just turn to like Helen or you and go, Sarah Connor, give me your clothes. Absolutely brilliant. And then just march out doing the funny walk.
I always thought that was my favourite thing about Soccer AM is when individuals took it upon themselves to be funny and it wasn't written. Like he would do something like that, or someone would just go, I'm going to do just something strange now, in the middle of nothing. Yeah, that was great. You lot used to come behind the sofas, didn't you? Venga Boys.
Venga Boys.
That was you and Fenners, right?
Yeah, with our shirts.
Pop up. Yeah,
doing the fixtures, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Venga Boys.
That's
Charlton take on the Venga Boys. Yeah. And then, we tried to move it on and we did Crew Diesel and it didn't work.
No, it didn't.
It didn't work.
Right, it didn't.
It got about 4 games and we're like, nah, it's not working, that Diesel, is it?
True.
Very good. We've had 2 fantastic oaths. Do you want it's time for? Do you want some stats? Time for a stat chat?
Yeah. Absolutely love a stat.
David Haddon says, since the start of the season, the Canaries of Norwich have played 6 games against teams who also have birds in their nicknames and have failed to win them all, losing to the Eagles, the Swans, the Bluebirds, Owls and Robins, and drawing with the Throssaws. That is that a stat or a fact?
It's a fact.
That's great, though, isn't it?
Got a number in it, though.
That's great. Yes.
No, but it's a fact.
I'm not sure. Dave H says you would only need to change the results of 4 of Jurgen Klopp's 487 games in charge of Liverpool to turn 1 Premier League trophy and 1 Champions League trophy into 3 Premier Leagues and 3 Champions Leagues. Is that a stat or a fact?
That's all ifs, buts and maybes, though, isn't it?
That's whataboutery.
Yeah.
D. Matthews says Messi once scored 91 goals in a calendar year, 2012. That is a great stat.
That's a stat.
That's
Pure
a stat chat. Time for a guest now, and I'm going to do a proper intro today because this man, his career has been immense. He's been in football since the late 60s. First club in his senior playing career was Chesterfield Town in 1967. He played 327 senior games. He came into management in 1980 at Gainsborough Trinity before moving to Burton Albion. He's gone on to manage 16 clubs from Premier League all the way to non-league. He holds the record for the most promotions with 8 and the most games as a professional manager with 1,626. It is, of course, Neil Warnock. Morning, Neil. Yes.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning.
You must pinch yourself when you see that CV of yours. It's amazing, isn't it, Neil?
I haven't really thought much about that until I've actually packed in. And then when you look at other people coming up to the 1,000th game, and I sent Steve Bruce a little message when he got to 1,000 games. Said, "Nice to see you just beginning, son." Yeah, it's been a long career. I've enjoyed it. I've had sort of. I am what I am, really. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I've enjoyed the clubs I've been at. Most of them have been to try and put a problem correct. I've never really took over a top side. I've only took over sides and then got them out of trouble, and then we've had great promotions. I've really enjoyed the promotions. To get 8 is quite really a great. And the dressing room, they still have the reunions. And it's lovely when I see the players. There's still the same atmosphere, the same camaraderie that got them up. Because we've never had the best teams when we got promotion, but we've had the best dressing rooms.
Amazing. And sorry, Neil, when we all sat down before the podcast started and Tim was chatting and Tim went through your CV and said, "God, look at this! It's amazing! It's legendary!" And he went, and now he's messing about with Torquay United.
What a sad end.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you know what a sort of a disease it is, Helen, with Torquay. I mean, it was. To be fair, when I went down there in I can't even tell you what year it was.
93.
16 games to go. They were rock bottom, really. I just got the sack at the top level, and I didn't deserve it. I took them up 2 divisions in 2 years at Notts County. And I'd got offered a couple of jobs, but I was really disillusioned with football. And then Kevin Blackwell rang me to say, Gaffer, will you come down here just for till end of the season? Everybody that I knew in the game said, Neil, you're absolute idiot if you go down there, because they're going to go non-league. If they go non-league, you'll never get another job. But Sharon and I, we just fancied it, really. I mean, Derby County was really desperate to sign me, but we went down to Torquay, and it gave me back the love of the game. I'd lost a little bit of the love of the game. I was so disillusioned when I got let go at Notts County. It was unbelievable. I turned down Chelsea and Sunderland to stay loyal. And then got the sack 6 months later, And so I was really at a low. But the people down there, they were on 75 quid a week, 100 quid a week, Trollope and Darren Moore and people. And they were just remarkable. And it gave me that buzz again to be able to turn a group of lads like that into a team that won games and stayed up, and it was just a fabulous time. I remember when we stayed up at Carlisle next to the last game, and I was supposed to get off the bus in Sheffield, and I ended up in Torbay, and it was just you couldn't get off the bus. It was just fantastic, and I was really pleased, and I got to know the fans then, and while we were down there, we went across to Cornwall and over the bridge, and we looked at places, and that's what made us go to Plymouth when later on in my career, really, because we loved it down that area. And the same again, I don't get paid a penny. I just want to help out, really. And the lads, it must have been fate when Michael Westcott, when he came up to me on the train back home.
Yeah, you literally just I say bumped into each other. I think he pestered you. He went, "There's Neil Warnock. I'm going to go and pester him."
He did. He told me the story. They were talking about me the day before, apparently, and then he was on the phone to Mark, one of the other owners, and he said that you never guess who's just come in the carriage. Neil Warnock and his wife. And Mark said, "Well, go and bloody talk to him. Don't stop now. Go and talk to him." And it was good, really. And Sharon straight away said, "Yeah, go and help him." And Paul Watton, I had him as a young lad at Plymouth, a good lad.
That's the Torquay manager. Yeah.
Yeah. And really, I think when you go down 2 divisions from non-league, it's not the next down, we're 2 down.
No.
You've got to get somebody who knows that division. And Paul had a hard job at Truro for a few years where they were nomads. They played everywhere, Gloucester and Plymouth Parkway, and everywhere they played their home matches. And so he'd done a real good job. And I thought
Neil, we are top of the league. Say we are top of the league.
Enough of this. Enough.
Come on. Sorry.
We've got to lose all our listeners.
You sound a little bit. You do. You sound a little bit like the owners. They'll be talking about Europe soon.
Yeah.
Neil, you played for 10 teams, managed 16. How many houses do you reckon you've lived in?
Wow. Well, when we came... Funnily enough, when we moved down to Plymouth, we bought a house in Plymouth, and just outside Plymouth, about 20 mile away, and we kept that all the time. So from that day, 96 I think it was, we kept that house, and then we just rented houses wherever we went, really. And we were all over the show. London was fabulous. Crystal Palace and QPR, they were really... I mean, I thought managing in London was the pits. I thought I'd never ever go below Watford. That's what in my mind. And here I was managing at Crystal Palace and QPR, and they were just my kind of clubs. Them, the fans really get behind you, close to the pitch. Yeah. The atmosphere is good. You're underdogs most of the time, so they were really special. And to get promotion at QPR is one of the highlights, really, 2011.
Neil, a lot of people only know you as a manager, and you're forthright, you speak your mind, you get stuck in. Were you like that as a player as well?
Yeah, I was always. I mean, I was a winger, so I wasn't a brave one. I was only a wide player. I was quick and brainless, and But when I always used to be sort of coaching during the game, telling people where to go and doing. Even when I was young, I'd always want to sort of spout off about the striker making a run and midfield man going past me or the fullback and things like that. And it was just natural, really. I ran a Sunday league team because in the village I lived in Sheffield. And then I just went on. I went on to manage Gainsborough. Burton Albion was a good experience. I had Ben Robinson, who's just left now from Burton Albion. I had him for 5 years nearly, and that was a great experience. A really good club. And because then I went to Scarborough, and I had to pack in my chiropody. Then I was a chiropodist at the time, and I had to pack in that.
Really?
Yeah, I was cutting a few toenails.
Neil, it's Tubes. Let's not talk about football. Let's talk about golf. How's my mate Will, your boy?
Yeah, do you know,
He's
I
good,
thought
isn't he?
about you, Tubes. I said to Will, only talking about you last night. I didn't know you were on it today. And Will flew out last night to Portugal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he's golfing for a month. We might go out for a couple of days again. So we'll probably do a bit of filming on my short game.
Amazing, amazing. Your short game. Chucking it out of bunkers and teeing it up on the fairway. It was the best thing ever. What about his hole in one? What about his hole in one though?
I know. Hey, how unlucky is it, you?
Yes.
There was a 135 yard one, and then this was 170 or 150 odd yards. And there was a BMW car for the prize of the short one. He got the long one and got nothing.
Neil, listen, I've watched those videos and I love them. I think they're absolutely fantastic. He's great at golf, isn't he?
Will, he's brilliant.
Will, unbelievable.
So such a nice boy as well.
Neil, thanks a lot for joining us. I just want to say you can't give up because you're still out on tour. You're going out on tour. Are You With Me? You're in Manchester on the 29th of August, 18th of September you're in London, 28th of September in Bristol. That's miles away. What are you doing in between then and now?
Taking Torquay up.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, I'm helping. I am helping Torquay and doing a few podcasts. I promised so many people over the years that I'd contribute, and I want to try and do a bit of charity work. I even thought about cycling from one of my clubs to all my clubs, one after the other.
That's a great
Aberdeen?
Yeah.
I know, but it might take me about 4 years.
Aberdeen to Plymouth.
Brilliant. Neil, thanks so
No,
much.
I want only English clubs.
Neil, thanks so much for joining us, top man. Thanks, Neil.
Cheers, Neil.
No problem.
Cheers, Neil.
Legend.
See you
See you, mate.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
As we're working our way around the room, Mr. Joe.
Oh, right. What is it this week?
Oh,
Brilliant.
Right.
right.
Okay, I was thinking, I was just reminiscing over Christmas about a night we once had during France 98. We were in Paris,
Who's we?
me and Emily.
Oh.
No.
And
I
we
thought
had,
you meant us, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought I don't remember being there.
Yeah.
and the Dutch were playing in Paris during France 98. And we had this night out where we just caught up with all these Dutch fans. And it was just brilliant. And like, we didn't pay for a drink all night. Came home like with T-shirts, hats, whistles, flags, everything. They were absolutely brilliant, the Dutch. So if this doesn't win this week, then I am a Dutchman. I'm going for Oranje.
Right.
Oh, for Oranje, right? I've always had a soft spot for the Dutch. So here's a few Premier League-based Dutchmen for you whilst you have a think about your favourite Dutchman, right? Who's the most expensive Dutchman to play in the Premier League?
Virgil van Dijk.
Virgil van Dijk, 75 mil. Who's won the most Premier League titles, Dutchman?
Bergkamp?
Bergkamp?
No.
Jimmy Floyd has
Rude.
Nah, not Jimmy Floyd. Not Jimmy Floyd.
Oh, Van Persie.
No.
Rude Van
He's only
Nistelrooy.
won one, I think. No, you're way off. There's three of them on 3, and one has won 4.
Is it Van something?
Van der Sar.
Van Morrison.
Van der Sar.
Edwin van der Sar, correct, has
Yeah.
won 4.
Well done.
Ake, Bergkamp and Stam have all won 3. Who scored them?
Ake is probably the nicest men in football. I love that
Think?
bloke. Yeah. He's Dutch.
He's Dutch,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, he works well. Oranje. Who scored the most Premier League goals as a Dutchman?
Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Van Persie.
No. Are you reading my thing?
No, I will now though.
You're right, Robbie. Robin van Persie, 144. And finally, your top 5. Who's made the most appearances in the Premier League as a Dutchman? You should get the 5th one. The Chelsea.
Are we doing top 5? Jimmy Floyd.
Top 5? No.
Dutch.
Oh, actually, he's number 4.
Robin.
288.
Oh,
no.
Robin's only there for one season, 1 or 2 seasons.
Just trying to desperately think of them. Hullet.
No.
No.
He was the greatest, though, wasn't he?
Legend.
Yeah, he changed everything at Chelsea. He was
Dutch player for Mario Melchior.
Mario Melchior, 284.
Brilliant. Why were they...
Hasselbank, 288.
Yeah.
Van der Sar, 313. 2 above him, 315. Dennis Bergkamp.
Yeah.
What a player he was. And who's the most by quite a way? 384.
Who?
Van der Sar.
No.
No?
No. I'll give you a clue.
Yeah.
Villa, Borough.
I have actually read his bit of paper now, so I'm not going to say.
Well, just do it. Put us out.
George Boateng.
George Boateng.
Why they
Came on Soccer AM, didn't he,
Yeah.
George Boateng?
Why are they orange?
Because, well, wasn't it William of Orange?
Something to do with their royal family.
Traditionally
and that.
orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something to do with their royal family. What's that song they danced to at the World Cup? Links Rex.
They will go side to side.
Links Rex by
Like Links Africa.
Snolle Bollocks. Snolle
Right,
Bollocks.
well.
Snolle Bollocks. It means left, right. Have you seen them do that?
Yeah,
I watch that loads.
I watch it all the time.
It's very good. It's very good. That's pretty good, Joe.
Thanks. Cheers, Tim.
Well done, Joe.
Yeah.
Who's your favourite Dutchman then?
Ruud Hullet.
Van Basten.
Ruud Hullet for me because what he did started at Chelsea.
Hells?
Yeah, well, I'll say Bergkamp then.
Bergkamp.
Robbie.
O is for overhead kicks. Often called by the youth a bicycle kick these days, but was always overhead kick.
I know
back in the day.
what the best one is.
Me too.
ever.
Ever. Can't be.
Yeah, there's
that
one.
Can't come
There's
close.
one, yeah.
Go on then.
Trevor Sinclair.
Trevor Sinclair.
Oh, yeah, we all said
All
it.
of
Trevor
us.
Sinclair.
Yeah.
It's the greatest of all time.
Yeah. Obviously in
that it
trend
then?
with Jude
Is that the
Bellingham
end?
this year.
Good.
No,
Is that the end?
No, it's not.
Oh.
It's most of the end. Classic any other favourite overhead kicks? Go on.
I was there and I missed it. Stockholm, when Zlatan scored that over a kick from about 40 yards out against England.
More of a punt though, wasn't it?
I missed it.
Yeah.
I got up to go back into the tunnel and missed it.
What about Rooney's? That's off the shin,
Yeah.
though,
Shin,
isn't it?
shin.
Can't count it,
Shin.
can you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's great, but it was
Overhead shin.
Garnacho scored one last year, didn't he? Which was like Rooney much better.
Yeah.
That was clean strike. But Trevor Sinclair
you
all day
can't
long.
beat Trevor Sinclair.
No.
Ronaldo for Juventus.
Can't beat Trevor Sinclair.
2.38 metres off the ground he
Yeah.
made contact.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's very
Trevor
overhead.
Sinclair, the height.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Came
just-
from a
How far out he was as well.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
I like it's an unexpected player doing an overhead kick as well. Do you remember that Rory Delap one?
No, I don't.
No, I don't.
That was brilliant.
I know his throw-ins. How good's his son Liam, by the way?
Very good.
Seems to be
Get
good.
him to Chelsea.
I thought you were going to say Peter Schmeichel. Peter Schmeichel's overhead kick.
I don't remember that.
I don't know, do I? When
Yeah.
did he do that?
Oh, yeah.
Scored a header.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was against. But yeah, he scored an insane overhead kick.
For United or Denmark?
It was wasn't it for Villa?
He scored a
I
goal.
don't remember.
for Villa.
Yeah. Don't remember that.
I can't remember.
Gareth
I can't
Bale scored a
remember.
nice one in the Champions
He
League.
did, yeah.
My memory's horrific.
I like it as well when someone tries an overhead kick and it goes wrong.
Yeah.
They're always great to watch. Hey. So, yeah.
When does a bicycle kick become an overhead kick?
Well, I think they're used interchangeably, the words now.
Do you need to get the foot higher than the head, don't you, for an
Same
overhead
thing.
kick?
I think it's the same thing.
I think it's the same,
It's
mate.
like,
No, a
it's like
bicycle kick
flick-ups
is-
and kick-ups, which...
Isn't a bicycle kick more sort of on your side in the air?
No, I think it's the same thing.
My son Arlo
That's a
goes
scissor kick. Maybe.
Oof.
All right, they've got very, very strong so far. We've got own goals, we've got overhead kicks, we've got Oi Fishhead, we've got Orange. Right, and I'm trying something different today. I'm
Shock.
I'm going for 0 for one-touch football, and there's three things about one-touch football. The first one is obviously in a game, it is absolutely amazing. One-touch pass, brilliant, slice the defence apart. We all love it. However, let me set the scene. You've got your Copa Mundials on, so what's a bit different? It's about actually people who play the game, who have played the game. It's either Tuesday or Thursday night. You're about to go training with your mates, and you can't wait because you're about to play football. And playing football is the best thing that any of us have ever done, in my mind. Anyway, it's the best thing I've ever done. And you've got your Umbro training top, you've got a Copa Mundials on, you've got a little bit of smelly stuff on your legs because you're all excited. You come out of the dressing room, you go, the coach is standing there and he goes, right, lads, we're going to do one-touch football. And your heart sinks. You're like, oh, shit, why on earth are we doing one-touch? Like two-touch, all right, even though that's crap. You just want to play football. But when the coach says we're doing one touch, you're like, this is so pointless.
I agree.
Because it's just a load of guys who are not quite good enough. And even though, one touch, what is the point? Anyway, I decided to ask AI why a coach would make me do one-touch football. And it says, improve ball control under pressure, enhance decision-making speed, builds team cohesion, promotes faster ball movement, improves positioning and awareness, encourages quick transitions, develops technical precision, and increases physical and mental sharpness. Bearing in mind, I played in the era where people were more interested in contact than they were skills. It was absolutely bloody pointless and a waste of a Tuesday or a Thursday evening.
Yeah, what does AI know?
That's why you've picked it, because it's the worst thing.
I picked one-touch football because I'm just trying to get people to envisage a time when they were playing football. I don't know if they still do it, and the coach would say one touch because they'd read a training manual somewhere, and it was horrific tubes. Have you ever had to experience that?
You know what? I totally agree with Tim here, because you go training, and there'd be like 4 players on the team that were good, that could do it, but when the other 6 aren't. You lay it off, and it's just the whole thing.
Take a touch, then you have to just stand by the ball.
AI is wrong. I don't think it encourages group cohesion. I think people just get really pissed off.
People just sliding in.
It actually encourages arguments.
Yeah,
because it's pointless.
Because if you take a touch and miscontrol, if you try to miscontrol, you just got to stand there next to the ball while someone else comes and gets it.
2 touch is good.
Yeah, 2 touches is all right, but still 2 touch was annoying when you turn up and you just wanted to play football.
I'm with you on that. I like that.
One touch. Absolutely ridiculous
nonsense.
Though I can't just go on. Sorry, Joe.
It's like when they suddenly just flick into it. Like, what? Right, we're going to do one touch for 2 minutes. Is when you're just playing and then suddenly go into one touch mode. You're like, oh.
But the one bit of one touch football that we did like was morale. When we used to play that in office, and for anyone who doesn't know, because we spent so many long hours in the office, we worked in this. They threw us out into this aircraft hangar because they didn't like us. They put us in this room. We played cricket in there. We played darts, and we also had a little.
How do we play cricket?
What?
Mad we play cricket. You'd be working. Someone just leather a ball past your head.
We play cricket. We play a lot of cricket. Fedders was actually very good at cricket, wasn't he? Yeah, we
quite
played
quick.
Bowling.
Yeah, it was good. But then we played, because a lot of us love playing football, so it was one touch game, wasn't it? And you had a word. I can't remember what our word was we used.
Morale. Yeah.
We didn't know. We had.
Was it horse?
It varied. There were other ones that weren't.
I think it was a swear word.
Yeah.
It had 2 T's in the middle of it, didn't it? We did for a while.
We did tosser, which is like a mid-range word.
Tosser. So every time you drop it, it'd be a T-N-O-S-S-E-R, and then
you flick the ears.
If you were the first out, was it flicking ears? Was it?
Or T's?
I thought it was press-ups.
I can't remember.
I did press ups.
I thought we got people to do press ups there, to do something like that. So that was always good fun, wasn't it? Late at the evening.
It was good.
Anyway, that's my one-touch football. So before we decide who actually won this week's show, Helen, have you got some what's wrong with football?
Oh, sorry, I thought you were going to go with fan O's.
Oh, we haven't done any fan O's, have we? God, I'm all over the place. A new show. Let's do some fan O's. Have you got any?
Fanos, I have. Gareth James, 1 season wonders in the Premier League. Barnsley, Huddersfield, Blackpool, Cardiff, Luton. Leo, something you don't hear anymore. On me, Ed, son.
Brilliant.
Jim, the onion bag. D. Matthews, outside the box goals. Tom C. Ooh, Northern boys love gravy. Oliver
Still do.
Didn't we used to call him Oliver Can't?
Yeah, every chance.
Yeah. Tim, one for you. Ian Ormondroyd.
Oh, yeah.
Good player.
Tea or coffee? Or was that Brett Ormerod? Who did you used to do?
I can't remember.
It was one or other of them that used to. Every time their name came up, you would go tea or coffee.
Why
and I asked you once what it was about.
Is it
Did
droid?
you say it was?
Is it a droid thing?
Something to do with Alan
Ian
Partridge.
Ormond droid.
It was something to do with Alan Partridge. You
Tea
said
or
so.
coffee?
Yeah,
That's
tea or
God knows.
coffee. You did it every time. John Hunt, orange ball in the snow.
Yeah.
Dr. Haddo says the collective, when your team misses a chance.
Yeah.
And CR23 says, oh, you beauty, Gerrard's goal against Olympiakos.
I've got a couple here. Steve Green says only Ray Parler. Yeah, whatever. Jay Laws says old stadiums: Highbury, the Dell, White Hart Lane, the baseball ground, Filbert Street. I've been to all of those. They're all great stadiums. Martin says one club players, and Andrew says onomatopoeia. I met Robbie Knox in Northampton.
God Blues.
No, it's true. When he was asking people to spell onomatopoeia. Why were you doing that?
I don't know.
Was that on Soccer AM?
Yeah, well, I imagine so. I don't
Why
just
would
go
you
do
do
that for fun.
Or was it one of your YouTube challenges?
No, none of
it was
that.
a Soccer M thing.
Yeah.
Did you scout on the street and do all the vox pops?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I've thought of another one. Olays. Olay.
Talking about Robbie Knox's YouTube channel, his latest video, Crackers, is nearly 1 million views.
It's brilliant, though.
So can we all get across and watch
brilliant. It's
Get
the
it
most
to 1 million.
expensive crackers from Harrods. How much is it? 700 quid or something? No.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
700 quid, and they open them. He gets 6 of his
Tubes
mates.
is in it. He opened one.
6 of his friends. Joe, did you do it? Helen, did you do it? Tim, did you do it? No.
Didn't
He
get
got
the nod
6
for that.
6 of his
I'm
mates.
sure I mentioned it when we were chatting about the golf day that we were doing.
And then you see what's in it, and I won't ruin it because go and watch it. You can see what's in all these crackers for 700 quid. It's a brilliant video. Helen, have you got any WWFs? What's wrong with football?
What's wrong with football? Joff says no HIA, that's head injury assessment, like in rugby. So players are now using that tactically. They're saying, I got hit in the head to get the game stopped and restarted.
Yeah.
Dan Bundock says players who can't beat the first man from a corner. That is grim.
That is
Yeah, but can I
annoying.
just say, my nan used to say that. She's been dead for 30 odd years or something. I don't know. And she used to say that. So it's clearly been a problem forever. In
Can I say one thing though?
Yeah.
I generally think some of the grounds you don't get you can't have a long enough run up. You know, Stamford Bridge. They're really close to the
Close
fans,
in now,
so they're going up a little bit of a hill.
Yeah.
It's not made easy for them. I mean, they should be able to do
hill.
it.
Did you just say up a hill?
I know what you mean.
They're going up a hill.
Yeah.
Oh, the pitches are on a slant. Some of them.
That's not a hill. That's not a hill. Jude.
Slope.
It's an incline.
A mound.
Incline.
A mound.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian incline.
Yeah, it's just running up a
mountain.
hill. Yeah.
And you always get someone who shouts, I'll do that for 30 grand a week.
I used to play a game in the Chiltern League, I think it was, when it was Sunday League football, and the it wasn't very good, and the pitch used to slope left to right. It was horrific for the person who was on the wing at the bottom end of the pitch. Because the ball used to fall down there all the time. It was just an absolute, literally slope, not small slope, big slope. Helen, carry on.
Yeah, Yeovil Town used to actually play. I mean, all right, they were non-league, but they used to play with a famous sloping pitch. Sam Rogers, your football heroes finally retiring. It hurts.
That is bad, yeah.
And P Boy says Lovejoy doing a dinner lady show on TV and not a football one.
Yeah, that's woke nonsense. Absolutely, he's got a good point.
What is it?
It's called Sunday Brunch Show. Every Sunday, it's guests and cooking and stuff like that. This week, Simon Rimmer, who presents it with me, he was off ill, so I did 3 hours on my own. It's amazing. I actually
Was it
cooked
last
dessert.
minute?
Yeah, it was on the way in. I got a text saying that he was ill and you're gonna have to do the show on your own.
Oh, was it both ends ill?
Yeah, and the
he
thing
was
is,
on
they
his way
didn't want to let someone ill around the other guests, which is a good thing, because I think he'd probably like to have come and tried to do the show at breaks.
You trying to cook pudding though was really funny because the second thing that you had to do was put the flour in the whatever, and you didn't sieve it. So They were stage 2, and Tim went, "Oh, I've gone wrong."
Yeah. No
And,
idea.
you just have to, but the thing is, it's all already, it's here's one I prepared earlier. So,
But I'm not a chef. I'm a
What?
I'm an international TV personality. On woke nonsense, me and Lego says no FA Cup replays. Woke nonsense.
Yeah.
Sam says football being called off because of a bit of wind. Woke nonsense.
Yeah.
Graham Frad says
I love
single
that.
player kickoffs. Top tier wokenism.
Yeah.
Woke
That's woke
nonsense.
I
Absolute
think I
woke.
still wouldn't have stood for that.
Nah.
Definitely not.
Helen, have I won, do you think, today? Because
You-
one touch is kind of good. I went different angle.
I think I may be retaining this.
I've got to say, Tim,
Ooh.
I tuned out.
20, 25, 2025.
I think from what she was saying there that you might be going hasty there. She just said tuned out.
Yeah, sorry, I tuned out because I was so shocked that nobody else remembered the Peter Schmeichel overhead kick.
Right.
That while Tim was doing his I went, oh, it's boring. So I looked it up, and I was
Step
I was
away from the
actually-
crown.
I was at the game. It was against Wimbledon. It was Manchester United against Wimbledon.
Yeah,
I'd
whatever.
taken my nephew. He's a Man United fan. Peter Schmeichel scored an overhead kick in the last minute because obviously he'd gone up for the corner and he was offside. It was ruled out for offside, which I guess is why nobody else can remember it.
Who won?
Legendary.
Yeah.
Who won this?
Now, Tubes' own goals was very good.
Yeah,
Robbie
very
Knox
good.
was
Yeah.
very good.
who won?
Tubes' Oranje,
Yeah.
Joe's Oranje, I didn't care.
Jumanji.
But the
Who
thing
won?
is, well, I win, but through Joe, because Joe's impression of Aldo doing an impression of the Terminator was absolutely
How
brilliant.
can that
So,
be one take?
with
Was good.
apologies to Joe, because you did that, it makes me win. Because even though it wasn't anything to do with Oi Fishhead, it took us on a journey of remembering some legendary Soccer AM things. So,
Put
Well
your
done,
crown on, Helen.
Well done, Helen.
Yeah.
You
Well
win.
done.
Everyone did a very good job today. We'll be back on Friday when we've got questions and quiz. We will see you all then. Bye.
Bye.
bye.